Welcome to the friendliest campus in the South.
Shotgun Blanchard, one back set, rolls right, pressure coming, throws, Middleton got it!
To the gym of the hills.
He lifts it to left, that one's pretty well hit. Hall on the run, that ball is gone!
Home of the Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Over the day, over the Hawks, he fires up at the buzzer, and drains the three! Good defense by Cunningham. Gregory releases lane, pulls up, he checks.
This is your podcast for JSU Sports.
High fly ball, center field, it is back, it's out of here!
With your hosts, Brandon Owens and Cody Hooks. This is Cocky Nation.
What is going on, everyone? This is Cody and Brandon on a whole new episode for the Cocky Nation podcast, and we are so excited to have each and every one of you here to listen with us this week. We got a couple things to go through for both volleyball and for football, and of course, we are going to end our podcast with another series of JSU opponent trivia. That this time I get to ask Brandon and see how well he knows. So, but we'll get to that later. Brandon, can you fill us in on some volleyball info?
Yeah, I just want to say our ladies did us proud to start ASUN conference play. They beat UCA Friday night, 3-1. A pretty dominant performance, and then an extremely dominant performance against our in-state rival UNA, sweeping them 3-0. Our next games are against ASUN newcomer Queens on Friday night at 5 p.m. and then on Saturday against Liberty at 5 p.m. Both games are away, so we will be in North Carolina Friday night and then Lynchburg, Virginia on Saturday. Both games will be on ESPN, so if you can't make the trip to North Carolina or to Lynchburg, Virginia, you can always tune in on ESPN Plus if you have the subscription. I've added this last one about basketball because they've been teasing us about the schedule being released all last week, and we don't appreciate it as fans. So please release the schedule. I know you have one game to pencil in and like you're trying to work out the kinks, and I hope it's Alabama coming to the Pete because the past two seasons we've traveled to Tuscaloosa. So I'm hoping it's a 2-for-1 and this is the one. So it would be awesome, but I'm not expecting anything either. But please release the schedule. We are tired of waiting. You should have released it a month ago. Please get on top of things, JSU basketball.
Agreed. I'm excited for this year. I think it's going to be another really good year for basketball. Are we still okay? So I know how football works as far
We're
as
eligible for the title.
I'm sorry. I love JSU basketball. I like basketball to an extent, but at the same time, I don't keep up with it as much as I should. So I'm not entirely sure what the process was. So that's good to know.
Yeah, we're eligible for the conference title in all other sports.
Okay, well then let's go to the big dance, boys. But Lady Gamecocks for volleyball, fantastic job. We want to continually see you guys do a fantastic job with all that. But now to the big topic. Last week on Saturday, the Jacksonville State Gamecocks went down and played at Nichols, and we were successful in the game and ended up winning 52-21. And that made us 4-1, while Nichols State will stay 0-4.
Defeated.
We are technically currently second in the ASUN conference, which is for us not being eligible for anything football wise, I'll take it. But fantastic if you ask me. I thought that this was pretty self-explanatory. If you look at the points scored per quarter for JSU, other than the fourth quarter, we stayed fairly consistent with getting 14 in the first quarter, 21 in the second quarter, 17 in the third, and then we didn't score in the fourth quarter, which is okay. We got the job done ahead of time, which is fine. But overall, I thought we looked good. Zion looked good, 9 for 11 as far as his completions. And then we saw a little bit out of McLaughlin, not as much as, I would love to see. Not that I don't like Zion, but I'm thinking ahead. I'm trying to be optimistic and look to the future. But Lewis looked really good. Wiggins looked really good. Brown looked really good, 105 yards. So I thought this was a pretty standard game for us. I mean, I wasn't super wowed, but as far as like looking consistent,
they're a horrible team this year. We did what we should have.
Exactly. We did what we should have done in Tulsa, but hey, Tulsa almost beat Ole Miss, so I can't say much anymore.
I saw that and I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah, and then it could be worse. We could be Auburn.
Yikes.
So
Yikes.
anyways,
that's a big yike.
So anyways, Brandon, what are your thoughts overall with the game?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was impressed, but I was happy with what I saw. I watched a little bit of the game heading up to the Albertville marching contest because my school went up there and we kicked butt and took names. It was amazing. It was amazing. Super proud of them. They've worked their butts off. But anyways, enough of marching band. Let's get back to JSU. Looking at the individual stats, rushing, we are actually starting to spread the wealth a little bit more. Like we're starting to hand the ball off to more people. Like if you look at Lewis with 58, Wiggins with 56, LaRoche with 51, Jackson with 40. Those are your four main rushers. And then obviously Zion keeps the ball and runs and is fantastic. So yeah, we're spreading the wealth as far as rushing goes. Same with receiving, it looks like. Four main receivers, Brown, Galbin, Carter, and Petway. Wells and Ezzard got the ball as well, but not a lot.
Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were short passes.
So, but I'm very happy that we use this game to kind of, I guess, team play more than just star player. So I was very impressed. As a team, 547 total yards of offense. Went for 4 and 8 on third downs. 255 yards in passing, 290, almost 300 rushing yards. That is a stat that stands out to me because I don't think we've ever had a game where we rushed for almost 300 yards. Maybe earlier in the season against a lesser opponent, but I'd have to go back and look at that. And then 3 penalties for 30 yards. I'm loving the discipline play for Jacksonville this year. Even in our worst game against Tulsa, where it looked like they were getting penalties right and left, but it was small penalties. So it didn't rack up any major yardage. So I'm loving the discipline play. And if we have penalties, it's just little mental mistakes. I'd rather have little mental mistakes than bonehead targeting calls or bonehead pass interference calls. Like, I'd rather have just their mind not being in it at the line and like jumping off sides or false starts, but not too many, please.
Right. And I mean, again, overall, I'm happy. I'm glad we won the game. Am I going to be nitpicky for a second? Sure. But hey, to each his own. We gave up 21 points to an 0 and at the time it was 0-3 team. Now they're 0-4 because we beat them, but we gave up 21 points. So I don't know if that was just, hey, we slipped up and messed up. Like, and the good news is it's not one of those like, okay, we put in our second string or third string and then they started to score. It was like first quarter they got 7, second quarter they got 7, and then in the fourth quarter they got one more touchdown. So it wasn't like one of those types of scenarios, but we still gave up 21 points. You know what I mean? So I think overall defense just consistently is getting better.
Yeah,
And
we held Grainer, their quarterback, to less than 200 yards passing.
oh yeah,
So
and
I'm glad that our defense is literally like attacking. I hate to use this analogy, but they're like a pack of wild dogs going after prey.
and on top of that, he threw 2 interceptions too. So
Yeah,
which is quite nice if you ask me. I love when pick six and things like that happen. Changes the aspect of the game, but overall, really good game. Gamecocks, boom. But I'm excited to see what goes on for us next week. But Brandon, do you have any other final thoughts on this game?
no, I want to talk about the Dirty Birds.
Which Dirty Birds?
You know the Dirty Birds.
Next week's Dirty Birds?
Next week's Dirty Birds.
Okay.
Or should we say this week's Dirty Birds?
This week's Dirty Birds. So do you want to do trivia first before we talk about that?
No.
What? I want to do the game. Okay, fine. So
I don't want to be pissed when I'm talking about KSU.
Okay. So this week, I don't know why you have the schedule. I don't know why you didn't. Brandon.
Shush, October 1st. Shut.
So October
Shush.
1st, not 9/24, as Brandon would write in our notes section. So on this Saturday, October 1st at 1:00, JSU will be playing at home versus Kennesaw State. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. I have my thoughts, and so Kennesaw State won their game last week. Barely. So they did win their game
Against a horrible Wofford team.
Oh, okay, but a win is a win. You have to accept that. Okay. I'm not saying that it was beautiful, but they did still win. Okay. It did come down to the wire because Kennesaw State was up originally, and then it all came down to the fourth quarter where Wofford ended up scoring an additional 13 points, and it was that field goal that kind of set everything off for Kennesaw State. But if we're looking at the stats for Kennesaw State, their quarterback Murphy was 11 for 14 as far as completions. He had 138 rushing yards. 138 rushing yards.
They went back to the triple option in this game because with Xavier Shepard, the past 2 games, they tried to pass more. And for some reason, Xavier Shepard he didn't live up to the hype that was around him going into this season. We on Wax Sun Weekly had Nathan McCreary on, and he said something to the effect of Xavier Shepard doesn't fit what the offense is trying to do at Kennesaw State. But I mean, if you're trying to stick with the triple option and just go with a variation of the triple option, then I mean, to me, stat wise, Jonathan Murphy might be your guy. And if you go back to Xavier Shepard this weekend, it's not going to be pretty.
Right. And see, when I looked at the stats, most of their yardage came from rushing.
Yeah.
If you take into consideration,
this might be a quick game this weekend.
Potentially. See, and here's why I get antsy. Okay. Not that I get worried, I get antsy. And that is because what have I constantly been saying? That JSU needs to what? Solidify our defense, especially when it comes to a running game, because we saw that against the Davidson game where they were just running on us. They kept running over us, and that is what I'm afraid of, especially if you have a quarterback that's going to put up those types of numbers, 138 rushing yards. So I would just say make sure that your front four are ready to go, especially your linebackers, because they're definitely going to have to take. I feel like it's going to be a lot of short passes. You feel me? So I feel like it. I wouldn't say it's up in the air, to say the least, but at the same time, I don't know yet. Like, yes, they barely won, but at the same time, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a run-heavy game for both teams, and I think what might put KSU over the top is if they put in Jonathan Murphy.
Right.
Now, with our team watching film, they can watch what Jonathan Murphy does and like all of his cues and like what might be going on in his head decision wise from the film. But earlier in the season, they also have film on Xavier Shepherd, so like they can prepare for either one. But which one are you? If you were a player or a coach, which one are you going to watch the most of? Probably the week before, which would be Jonathan Murphy.
Right.
So if they start Xavier Shepherd, I mean, I said it won't be pretty, but to start, if JSU only watches film on Jonathan Murphy, they might struggle a little bit if Xavier Shepherd starts.
But again, that could be, let me start him, and then something goes wrong immediately, and it's like, oh no, never mind. Murphy,
Right.
get in there.
Right.
I mean, or they could play the two quarterback system and swap them out every once in a while.
I think JSU might actually have a chance at finally getting a win over Kennesaw State before we move to the FBS. But I think what's going to help JSU achieve that is playing very balanced offense, meaning we are a run heavy offense. We need to play more balanced and play evenly pass and rushing. What are you doing?
I'm looking to God right now because I need God to listen to this right now, and please let us beat this team. Like, listen, I have watched since the beginning of this series with him, as we survived that game at Centra Stadium. Used to be. I survived that 6 overtime game.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to ever experience something
Exactly.
like that. Even if
we
we win, even if it goes into 6 overtimes and we win, I never want to experience that.
The only thing that made that weekend great, other than going and playing at that stadium, was the fact that your family took me to some amazing restaurants.
Yes, Bambinelli's.
Bambinelli's. Okay. So, but I see it being a very good game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. I would like to go. I thought I had something coming up, but
if you go, you need to fill me in because I won't be able to make it.
We will see. If not, I will catch it on ESPN Plus like other people will, because I'm an adult and going to football games on a regular basis is unfortunately not the not the future for me. But it will be okay. Do you want to wait to do score predictions now, or
no? Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay. I picture this being 34-28 JSU. I swear to Jesus.
Oh, if you haven't seen Wax On Weekly, you are going to be in for a show.
I swear to Jesus, I will come through this screen right now, Brandon.
Do it. I want to pick JSU. I really do.
You just had to freaking say it.
because of like the stats for this season speak for themselves. And I think JSU is the better team. But history does not lie. The past 3 times we have played them, we have said the exact. Shut up and let me finish. Shut up and let me finish. The past 3 times we have played Kennesaw State, we have said the exact same thing over and over and over again. And look what happened. We lost in 17 in the playoffs. We lost in 18 at SunTrust. We lost last year, bad last year, 31-0. And so I'm actually going to play reverse psychology just so I don't get my heart broken. I am picking KSU in a close one.
If anyone can hear me right now, anybody alive out there, if JSU loses, we riot at Brandon's place. And I will give out that information. I am not afraid to. We will riot at Brandon's place if JSU ends up losing this game.
Oh, also, another thing. This is for the students that actually listen to our podcast, which there are a couple. Please pack this stadium out. This is the last time we get to play our natural rival in KSU. Now, granted, it's a new rivalry, but I mean, it's a rivalry. It's a big rivalry. This is the last time we get to play Kennesaw State until they make the move to the Conference USA. That conference, until they make the move to Conference USA. This is the last time we get to play them. Please pack out the stadium, please. And I want to say it's Family Day.
It is Family Day, but let me tell you, unfortunately, listen, as an alumni myself, and you know as well as I do, that game, let's just go ahead and take a look at a couple things. Number one, what time is the game?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Tailgating will start
at 11 or 10 o'clock.
11 or 10 o'clock. A bunch of people will be gone, unfortunately. By halftime, half of our fans will leave. And by half of our fans, I'm talking about our student section. The diehards, you know who you're talking. You know who I'm referring to.
The alumni,
the older people, the GA and general admission people. Yeah,
Southerners
you guys.
alumni.
Yeah, you will be there. Now, here's the other thing. If you look at the forecast for Saturday, which I'm currently looking at it right now,
it's good.
Morning showers, 30% chance.
Okay, that's not that bad.
So if the rain stops, here's the problem. What comes after rain when you're in the South?
Humidity,
which means that, unfortunately, I do not see this being a packed out game, although I would love to see that. I don't want to speak in. If I try to speak into existence, my heart will be broken. So I would like to see it, but prove me wrong. I'll say that. But
Which app are you looking at?
Fox Weather.
Oh, I'm looking at Weather Channel. It says 81% chance of rain in the morning.
Well, I was looking at it says 30%,
and then a 62% chance of rain at night. So we're no strangers to rain.
I'm about to say, Brandon and I have participated in a game where it was torrential down.
Two. It was back-to-back home games.
No, there was another one in another season too where we were.
It was Mercer because it was COVID season.
You
didn't go to that game. I did.
Yeah, I didn't go to that game. But during the 2019 and 2018 seasons.
Oh my God, it was Murray and SEMO.
Yeah,
and we lost both of those games.
Yeah, it was we won one of them.
We won Murray State because they missed the last second field goal.
But it was like coming down, and it was like God crying on us. It was great. All the woodwinds had to put up their instruments, and all the brass were sitting there blowing their horns the entire time.
I think it was SEMO. It came down in the first half, and then it stopped, and we were able to do post game.
But Murray,
we were supposed to do post game, and Botiford literally, once it started coming down, Botiford announced over the loudspeaker, "We are not doing post game," and like all the Southerners cheer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's It's rough. All right. So, as you heard last week, we are starting a new series, Brandon and I, where we are doing trivia. The first couple of questions between us are going to be opponents. I don't know if we're going to change that next week because I feel like
Maybe.
I think we need to
We
because
probably will,
I
but
was
I need to
I
find the
was
subject.
struggling to find some questions for you because like yeah, because at some point it becomes repetitive. So I do have 5 questions for Brandon. Pretty much the same structure as he did last week, where each question's going to get harder as you continue. Okay. So are you ready, Brandon?
Unfortunately, yes.
I
Because I
need
have a
the
feeling I'm going to do horrible.
I need the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music.
Oh my God. Stop.
Your first question. Question 1 is an easy one. Really easy. This opponent that Jacksonville State University played, we have played them 3 times, with all 3 games, unfortunately, being victories for the other opponent. Our first game was during the playoffs in 2017 at home, where this opponent ended up winning the game. The next time that we played them was at a neutral, quote unquote, neutral site in a baseball field. What is the name of the opponent, Brandon?
Kennesaw State Owls.
I totally forgot that we were playing them this week. So when I made the question, when I came up with the question, like I had these prepped beforehand, and then when I saw that we were talking about KSU, I was like, God damn. So anyways, all right. So yes, it is Kennesaw State. Are you ready for your next question?
Yes.
Okay, so for anybody that's keeping score on like who's got how many, I got 4 out of 5 last week. Brandon is at 1 out of 5 currently. Let's see if you can get all of them. Number 2. This opponent has played JSU a total of 63 times and used to be a major rivalry back in the day. The game was called the Battle for the Old School Bell. JSU still leads the series technically with 32 wins as well as their band, but hey, that's just a personal opinion. What is the name of the team, Brandon?
Troy sucks.
Whoop, Troy. Which listen. Off tangent, good tangent. We're moving to the FBS. Let's start back up the rivalry. Just saying.
Please. Everybody wants it.
Everybody wants
it.
Everybody wants to see.
Even people not affiliated with JSU and Troy, with how much
You're
we
not
talk about that
affiliated with me.
rivalry,
Yep.
they want it back too.
Okay. Question 3, Brandon. This opponent has played Jacksonville State a total of 13 times since 2008. Out of the 13 times, JSU has won 11. Our highest score margin occurred in 2014 when their Gamecocks defeated this opponent at home during homecoming with a score of 56-0.
Oh, I know.
The Gamecocks were also ranked number 5 at the time. Brandon, what is the opponent?
I think I was at this game. Is it SEMO?
No.
Who is it?
Austin P.
Ew.
The Governors. Only Governor. Have you eaten much it? Yes, it was the Governors. We have played them 13 times since 2008, and they've only won 2 of the total 13. We had a winning streak for several years until they recently beat us not too long ago, and then they won again.
Yeah.
But who's counting? All right.
They have a 2-win streak against us now.
Question 4. This team JSU has played. Hold on. I got it mixed up. My bad. Okay. Question 4. JSU has played this opponent a total of 47 times. Okay?
Okay.
Total of 47 times. The first meeting between these two teams was back in 1905. And the last meeting was back in 2013, where Jacksonville State ended up winning the game 55-14. JSU still currently leads the series 23-21 with 3 ties in the total of the series. And our largest victory was back in 2006, where we ended up defeating this team 55-7. Brandon, what is the opponent?
Is this Samford?
It is definitely Samford. If you didn't get it, I was going to add an easy hint there where I was going to say back in the day, they used to not be Samford University. They actually used to be Howard University. Our first meeting was on November
Howard
4th.
College, not Howard University. Howard
Yes.
University is the HBCU.
Yes, it is. But our first meeting was November 4th, 1905. Where JSU actually lost the game against Howard College 32-0.
Was that in Birmingham or was that in Okay.
It was in Birmingham. A couple interesting factoids for you guys if you didn't know. JSU and Samford University are only 80 miles apart from each other in eastern Alabama. If you don't know, Samford University is located near central Birmingham. It is a private public college, one of those types of locations. Really
private religious.
Yeah, really expensive. But
they used to be a big rivalry for JSU after Troy left.
But we have consistently from September of 2000 to 2013, JSU has won that last several games. So good job. Brandon is currently 3 for 4. So are you ready for your final question, Brandon?
Yes.
All right. We're going back in time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm talking back in time. So he's probably going to get this, but it's okay. In 1977, the Jacksonville State University Gamecocks was currently part of the Gulf South Conference, where the Gamecocks went on to play for their first national title. Unfortunately, the Gamecocks lost 33-0 against this opponent after a hard-fought season, and we have yet to play this team, as based on what I've seen, we have yet to play this team ever since then.
Which is sad because we're in the we're currently in the same subdivision, just different conferences. This is the Lehigh Mountain Hawks.
Lehigh Mountain Hawks is correct. So Brandon and I are currently both tied right now, 4 for 5. So we are. Next week we need to have like a score sheet. Score sheet. I can't talk today. Score sheet in the middle of our screens, so people can keep an eye on this. So we are super excited for this to continue on. I think I'm surprised I got you on that one with SEMO, but it was actually Austin P.
Okay, so when you said 2013. And that we won 50 whatever, they beat SEMO, or they scored 50 on SEMO if I'm not mistaken, and I went to that game. But you said it was homecoming, and for some reason I was thinking homecoming and the Southerners reunion were the same game. And I did go to the SEMO game that year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our trivia for this week. And it looks like we've already did our predictions for next week. Be on the lookout to see what will happen when JSU meets the Dirty Birds, the Kennesaw State Owls, in JSU on October 1st, this Saturday at 1 o'clock. If you cannot go to the game, that's fine. You can always catch it on ESPN+. But, of course, we want to thank each and every one of you for listening to us rant for, at this point, it's been almost 35 minutes. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but we enjoy the fact that you listen to us.
Well, the fact there's not a whole lot going on besides football, and there's not a lot of exciting things going on with football right now. So,
our lives are boring. I mean, if you're an FBS fan, there's tons of things going on, but we'll
honestly,
have more to talk about next year.
I would not mind having an FBS segment.
We're definitely going to plan one soon, especially as we get closer to the end of the season, because then we'll.
Might I give a shout out to one of our FCS Fans Nation Network members, Jamie Williams. His team, James Madison, just took down App State this week.
I know.
Who took down Texas A&M.
They're showing that they can perform.
I'm sitting here like, we tried to tell y'all about James Madison, but no, y'all wanted to say that James Madison was going to finish with 4 wins, and all of us were like, no, that's not going to happen. They have a good shot at winning the East and possibly winning the Sun Belt.
Hold on. So, to stay on that tangent, okay? James Madison, okay, just beat App State, which is great. But James Madison also beat Middle Tennessee State, correct?
Who just
beat Miami.
Like took Miami to the woodshed.
So in congruence, James Madison University is better than Miami.
Yes, and that is factual. That is factual.
Miami, get your crap together. But again,
and James Madison started receiving votes for
exactly.
the first ever
it's
time
weird.
For FBS. Like, I'm so proud. I'm so happy of my possible future school for my doctorate degree. Like, I am so proud of them.
It's crazy. Well, y'all, we want to thank you again. Thank you for listening to us. And if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at Cocky_Nation and join our community on Facebook and on Twitter, where we are Cocky Nation JSU Podcast. Twitter, it's the same thing, Cocky_Nation. For all of you that are listening, whether you are a current student or you are an alumni, we thank each and every one of you for taking time to listen to us. And again, if you have any requests, any questions, anything that you would like us to talk about, whether it be the future of JSU football or something current that we may forget, please let us know, because we're not super knowledgeable. We do our research, and we always want to make sure that we do our best. So if there is anything that we can do to make this podcast even more fun, please don't be afraid to let us know. And of course, you need to go follow all of our FCS Fan Nation podcasts and social media platforms that are out there, whether it be Twitter, Facebook. So that would help them, and it also helps us as we grow as a community. Brandon,
we may do an actual live on YouTube.
Sounds about fun. I'm thinking as we get closer, we could probably do it for something.
We could do a joint one because we can fit 5 people on here.
Definitely.
I don't know if StreamYard would like us very much for it, but I would love to do a joint podcast with Wax Weekly since the very last week of the regular season, because JSU and UCA play each other.
Yeah, and definitely Brandon and I are also looking to go mobile soon for a game. I think we were looking at Southerners Reunion potentially being that, but we'll get more information as that comes out. We have about 2 months to figure that one out. But again, guys, thank you for listening, and remember, go Gamecocks, and of course, always fear the beak.
Fear the beak.